Hey, welcome to the Morning Spike. We're here to talk about all the things NFL, get you ready for your fantasy football draft, answer any questions you guys got. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Martin. How you doing, man?
What up? What up, man? I just woke up, bro. I woke up. I looked at my phone. I was like, okay. Like I have an alarm usually 15 minutes before the show, so I roll my ass out of bed and figure out, okay, just grab the jersey because that's normally what I'll do on Sundays or Wednesdays. Just throw a jersey on, figure out the shirt underneath, and then jump on. And I'm looking at my phone. And I see, oh, it's my pick.
Yep.
And I'm like, when the hell did this happen? And then you're like, yeah, Mark did it like late last night, just before it probably paused or something. I'm like, well, that sucks because now I'm not really gonna be looking at it until like after the show. What's up, James? No, you're gonna have to wait till probably afterwards, man. I have to look at what I'm doing and what I'm gonna grab. Nope, not gonna happen. Sorry. I gotta evaluate my pick. It's at the third. I was like, well, that sucks.
And you got time. And it's an interesting place. So as far as my draft went, I had the third overall pick. And surprise, surprise, JJ McCarthy was second. I was like, what? Because we Marvin Harrison first, that makes sense. That's how everyone goes. JJ McCarthy goes second. I'm like, all right, so I either draft Caleb Williams and lie to everyone I'm for the last 6 months about everything I've been saying.
But you've never believed in him anyway, so
I can't draft him, and he's going to be sitting on the bench. So what's the point of me drafting someone I don't believe in, along with sitting him on the bench behind CJ Stroud for the next decade?
Right. No, and I figured why. Like I looked at this the 102 pick, and JJ McCarthy went at 102 in our draft in our dynasty league. And right now we're doing a slow draft. And I saw two reasons on why they did it. One, probably because they are a Vikings fan.
Yep.
But the second one is, if JJ McCarthy is the truth, which the Vikings did draft him at 11 overall, okay? The last time they did this was Dante Culpepper back in 1999 or 80. I don't even
Yep,
probably.
that's exactly right. 99.
That was the last time the Vikings had drafted a quarterback this high. So they really believe in this man. So, this is what Dynasty does. You draft your rookies and you hope they pan out. Like the first years, they're probably not going to do as good. That's what the taxi squad is for. That's what you just kind of like let them sit there, simmer, learn under the veterans, and then by the year 2 or 3, you pull them out. You have your team established. So JJ McCarthy is coming in, and I also looked at that team. They also have Jay Jettis.
Yep.
So it kind of makes sense if they get the stack. If they have the stack, and if JJ McCarthy actually does like they could have traded back one pick and then got something next year. Like maybe they could have traded back because and if I was sitting at the 102 and I'm really looking at JJ McCarthy, I'm like, okay, I know that Caleb and Jaden Daniels are better. I can move back 2 spots, even 3 spots. Swap first, right? Maybe get a second or a third and say, look, how bad do you want Caleb Williams? Okay, because that's where Caleb Williams would have gone, right? That's essentially the 102 pick because Maserati went first, Caleb Williams went second. That's probably typically most drafts. They could have went 2-3 spots back, swap first, and then get another second for next year or another second for this draft or something. They could have got something on top because they could have sold it. Like, how bad do you want Jaden Daniels? How bad do you want Caleb Williams? That's what I would have done, but they just went ahead and got JJ McCarthy at the 102. So I was like, the whole league was shooken and shocked and as hell, and then we were like, holy crap! And then you shook the league again with your big ass trade.
Yep.
Let us know how that went. Like, what your thought process?
I knew that I had I was gonna get young quarterback, right? Because I need to do that, developing team. You never know what CJ gets hurt. And I have older quarterbacks on my team.
Right. Rogers and Matthew.
And Matt Stafford. At any point in time, they can retire in a year or two. Both of them could be gone. So I have that, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I trade Matt Stafford. That's what I was thinking. Or maybe I trade Matt Stafford to someone who needs a quarterback. And I was like, well, even if I do that, and then I get Caleb, he's still sitting behind, CJ for the foreseeable future. So I was like, why don't I take a shot in the dark? Let me see what someone will give me. And in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I can get another first and a player, I will probably take it, right? And then G Money comes in and is like, hey, I'll give you two.
Ironically, James is here right now.
James,
So
yeah,
what's up, guys?
I'll give you two. And then I looked at his team, and he offered what's the Saints quarterback?
Carr.
And I was like, that's smart of him because he wants to be the I'm putting it out to everybody. He wants to have the best deal out there, but not lose anything off his team. And I don't want Carr because I don't need another older quarterback.
Yeah.
Bryce Young
You're
sitting
looking for
there.
you two.
Bryce Young is sitting there. He still was a high pick last year. I still think that he can be something still. But he could sit on my bench on my Texas squad and not have to worry about it. So now I don't hurt my quarterback. I still have my quarterbacks there. I still have the two older guys, and I have a younger guy on my Texas squad. And then I get the 2 first-round picks. Right. And then we did a 4th round swap so I could get another pick this year. So that worked out well for me. I think it works out well for him. But to my surprise, he didn't take Caleb. He took Jaden Daniels, which is smart of him because I think Jaden is the better quarterback.
I think Jaden's a better one too. I think Jaden's produced better. He's in a better situation. Well, I don't know about a better situation. I feel like Caleb is just lined up to prime to be good.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the talent there for Jaden is better.
I think his talent is better. Yeah.
And like I know talking to you about the next 2 years quarterbacks. You did manage to get Bryce Young, who I thought about. I'm like, everybody's hating on because of how bad Carolina was and how bad they're going to be. They haven't, like, imagine putting anybody behind that line. There is nobody to protect. There's no weapons that are consistently good right now. Until this year, they brought in finally Johnson, which hopefully that could maybe be a little bit better. Thielen's old. Like, we saw it last year. After that 1 week off, he was just gone. It was weird. So, and you're not going to start him over CJ Stroud anyways. I don't see that happening. I think those first 2 picks could be a high-valued running back or a high-valued receiver, which I probably end up believing that you'll probably end up getting one of those guys with those next 2 for a few years, because the next few years running back
2026. The reason I really wanted the 2026 first rounder, because when you turn around, Arch Manning is going to come out in 2026.
But you'd have to at that point I don't think you're gonna get him. I
don't know, but I need to increase my odds. I don't think I will be last, and I don't know G Money having Jaden is going to be a better team. So I don't know what's going to happen, but me having 2 of those first rounds it's better odds.
It's a possibility, but
having 2026 is going to be a better overall draft.
Yeah. It's just like you're banking on one guy, and I don't know if it's going to happen. You're going to have to try and get him. But outside of Arch Manning, all the other quarterbacks suck, and I don't care about what you say about such and such QB coming out of wherever. I don't care. I've seen it. I've looked at him. I'm already studying them. It's what I do, guys. I've already looked at them.
2025 is sad, but 2026, I think they do have
next year's running backs though. Next year's running back is a running back year. If you have a first next year, you are going to get yourself a new starter for running back. So
I got 2 now. But the other
James
reason why I want Bryce Young, because I have Deontay Johnson. I have Deontay. So I have the Carolina wide receiver that goes with. So each one of my backups, I have their number 1 wide receiver too.
Right.
So that was also the reason why. So Bryce Young, and with
If you
Deontay.
really needed to put him in,
Yep, I'll
you
have that.
hope
Stafford,
for that.
Lapuka,
Yeah.
like whatever it is, I have their wide receiver to go with them. That
Yeah.
was
Well, I
yeah,
don't like I said it was surprising because I know you were talking about
Jaden.
getting another quarterback that might be, good, and which, you went with the young side, but we are still Bryce Young is still in the project
Oh yeah,
situation.
most definitely. Yeah,
So if it doesn't pan out,
I just used one of the other first rounders to get someone else.
not next year, but I mean
Yeah,
probably
2026 is what I'm thinking. But
maybe
you'll
if you're
see. I will know by 2026 if Bryce Young is that dude or not. If he's not that guy, I'll know I need to focus on that then.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And by then you'll like CJ Stroud are probably already established as your one anyway. So again,
yeah.
not entirely crazy. I don't think you'll use those two first on a quarterback. I really don't.
I don't even know if I'll use 2 first rounders. I might. You never know. Just having the first rounders is good, but I might trade back. You never know
Because
what
for the
they
next
pick up.
2 years, you have two first rounders, and you might be able to just trade one of them away.
Exactly.
So I don't see any wrongdoing. As for James, I've given up on telling him how valuable his firsts are, but I don't care anymore. I don't care. So, what's up, Kadani? How are you, man? Good morning, guys. We're just discussing, our dynasty draft that just recently, like trade that just happened. Um, what you could do, what he potentially like I was just went into the JJ McCarthy, how well he could be, how well he could pan out, because like the Vikings haven't gotten anyone this high since Culpepper. I was like over 20 some years ago. So
It's a good future pick knowing you have Jefferson and knowing he just signed that huge contract.
yeah,
So it's smart in that way. So I
yeah.
understand.
So I noticed that a lot of our draft, everyone's going for the stack. I don't care. Like, you give me the talent. Like, yeah, I could have gone Coleman, but the fact that Neighbors was there at the 8,
Oh, there was no question. Once you had Neighbors was there, I was like, oh, how the hell did
yeah.
he fall at
Yeah,
10?
I don't know. I was like, hell yeah. You ever watch Cool Runnings?
Oh, always.
Okay, you know that kissing booth part
Yeah.
where Senka walks up all cool and everything up to the podium just before he has to see the old lady? That's
Yep.
how I felt, like that good old cool walk. I was like, hell yeah. Neighbors is mine. I'm gonna go pick him up. That's exactly how I felt, man. Let me work the phones, guys. I'll get y'all set for life with the draft picks. Yeah, I'm sure you do that, Kadani. You do that, my friend. But look, Dynasty, like, we're doing a slow draft. It's wonderful because you could work out all kinds of trades, and no one's getting mad this year finally, because you know what to expect. The first 2 years, everyone's like, hurry up, hurry up. I'm like, why? I specifically said it was going to be a slow draft, so everybody has crap to do. We all got places to be. We all can work something out and figure out trades out. When Mark had 3 picks in a row, I was like, this
Yeah.
man's going to own the weekend. I knew he was.
He took one pick and then waited like another
Hell
6
yeah.
hours.
I was like, this man. But it is what it is.
I want to know what you thought about my T. Higgins trade.
Oh, let me see. Where's it at? That one happened last night, didn't it? Too.
Yeah, so yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, all this happened like while I was asleep. I felt like I slept for like 13 hours and all this crap happened. I wake up as my pick. So you got T. Higgins, but you traded a 403 of this year, a second, and a 6.
Yep. A second
I
next year. And the reason I could
yeah,
do second next year is because I have the extra first rounder for 2025.
I
And then
feel like the second was the appropriate um price. Um But the fact that what's crazy is the two people that never trade or are
all being
horrible
trades.
traders are trading a lot this year. It's really odd. Because the person you traded it to is one of the worst traders I've ever met in my life. Ever. And I've seen what he does, because sometimes like other people go, look what this man just traded me. I'm like, that is insulting. That is like
He's offered me a terrible trade before. A terrible trade.
he doesn't
And
know how to trade. He thinks that we're all stupid, and he thinks that we're all gonna like. And then he laughs about it. He's like, "Oh, you never know if you can't." I'm like, "Bro, stop wasting everybody's time. Stop wasting everybody's time." But yeah, you got T. Higgins for basically, essentially, you gave up a second, a fourth, and a sixth.
yeah,
This year's fourth, and next year's second, next year's sixth.
yeah.
So, and they're all yours, right? They weren't like anybody else's. Yeah, they're all
No,
yours.
they're all mine. Yeah, because
I
I gained the first and I've gained a third next year. So now I don't have a second, but I have two first, two thirds.
I think if by looking by your roster, you might end up in playoffs. So it could be a later round for or second and six for them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't. I like it. I really do. You didn't have to pay a whole lot, to be honest. You
And
just
it's
paid.
funny because someone else offered more. It's just
And
timing.
they denied it.
It was just timing.
Hold on.
I accepted. We accepted ours before he sent it in.
Hold on. Someone. How do you know? Because he told you.
Yeah, they're talking about it. Like, what the hell? He's like, well, if I would have waited, I would have known. I was like,
Well, hey, that
all right,
happens.
well,
That happens. That's why I'm just
worked
gonna
out.
let the third simmer until something happens. But I don't know. That's the beauty of Dynasty. We're barely in the third round right now. So, but today, guys, we're going to talk about top 10 offenses. Hopefully, we don't argue too much about this, because we were supposed to have. Did Tank even text you?
Nope.
All right, whatever. Thornberry said I offered you so much more. Did he say that in the chat?
Yeah, he did.
Where have I been? Guys, I must have just fell asleep. I'm telling you, I woke up and it was my pick. I don't know what happened. Mark draft a kicker in the third. Like, what the hell's going on? That's his guy. Like, he really, but I looked at it. He doesn't have a fourth, he doesn't have fifth, and he doesn't have sixth.
No, he only has six. So like he would have
He
had to
has
wait till
he doesn't
six,
have
and
fourth
there's
or
no
yeah.
way Young Koo was going to,
He's gonna try and get that's his guy. He loves that man. Hold on. So here's the trade. The trade happened. Somebody left. Who left? I offered you so much more. Not sure. Yeah. Well, hey, this is what happens when you talk to idiots, and idiots don't know what they're doing.
and
And that man I know is an idiot, because
it's
I've seen
time. It was the timing. So like,
the way he trades.
I had already did trade, and he already accepted, and then he was like, the offer came in. I was like, well, sorry.
That's why you gotta see. The thing is, you have to sometimes
He had Joe Burrow,
right. But he got Jamar, so he's only
so why would you need both?
overstepping himself. So you did him a favor.
Yeah,
Here's
he
the
would have been sitting there, and then when he makes when he leaves, because T Higgins is going to
it's
leave.
gonna be gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. Here's one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to trades is people just kind of sit there. At least acknowledge it and tell them, "Hey, I seen your trade. I need some time to look at it or think about it." Don't ignore them. You see it. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid and be like, "Oh, I never saw it." Shut up. Don't stop. Stop lying. If you're in a dynasty league, you should be looking at your phone almost every day, because things happen in the NFL all the time. If you watch the damn first episode of New York Giants Hard Knocks, they went all the way back to January and February, and it's the offseason. This one's interesting because I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
No.
Okay. So this one's interesting. Are you even going to see it?
I am going to watch, because I have to prepare, because obviously my team's going to be a Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So this one's interesting. I think it's the first one they've ever done, like where they circle back all the way damn near the end of the season, and it's It's almost like what us dynasty people do. Think about these incoming rookies and think about, the grand question of Saquon and his money and what they're going to do. So it's kind of interesting to see it. Like, obviously, we already know what happened. We've seen it. But it's interesting to see them actually do it and them actually talk about it. This episode is just kind of like whatever. But it's, you'll see the process of it. What's up, Anthony?
No, I was
Giants didn't care
surprised.
about Barkley.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much that they didn't care about him. It's the fact that they don't know what the value of what other teams were going to give him, like price wise. It was the storm, but it was the freaking calm before the storm. Like you saw that they didn't want to figure it out and just let one of the like they tried to trade him, but it wasn't happening, obviously. So, but you can see their thought process behind it. So
And also, I mean, you don't know before running backs value came plummeting down, right? So if you're operating under that assumption right now, I'm not going to pay this guy, any more over $10 million because the price of running backs is low, and I'm not going to win. If it's something that's going to push me over the top, then that's one thing I would do. But for just a random dude, I'm not doing it. Well, little did they know in this offseason, the prices of running backs went right back up because they looked at this year's crop coming in and they suck. So
yeah,
now I have to pay these
it's
running
going
backs,
back
right?
up. It's a demand. It's just by demand. You can tell me if there wasn't a trade. I'm gonna tell you there was, but the problem is the Giants didn't accept what they wanted because Barkley is one of the best in the league. He
Yeah.
still is. Like even in a dynasty roster right now, you'd still have to pay something like there was. If I went up to Brian because he has him,
Yeah, Saquon, yeah.
he's gonna want a higher end draft pick, and that's probably something I don't want to fully give him because I don't know how long he's gonna be in. Okay, like I know he probably give me 2-3 years, maybe if that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, doesn't get injured, right? Because this man's had injury issues. That's the issue behind Barkley. Barkley's had injury. You know how good he is, but the problem is, what do other teams want? And they don't want to pay up too much for somebody who might just be out of the league by next year. I'm
Or
not saying
but
that's going to happen, but
the
it's
top end is he's going to a team that has a great offensive line for the first time ever. So
oh
now
yeah,
you really don't know what's going to happen. But I agree. It's hard to gauge what he's going to be, knowing that running backs just get hurt all of a sudden, and you're turning around, and if you're not one of the great running backs. I mean, look at Nick Chubb.
oh
You know,
he's never going to be the same.
I mean, he was the best running back for 2 years, 3 years straight, and then all of a sudden now this injury, it's hard for us to even think anything of him.
I don't think he makes top 10 at all. I don't.
It's
It'll
hard
be
coming
less
back
than
from
top
knee
20.
injuries like
Like that
that.
injury is going to affect him so bad. He is no longer going to be Nick Chubb that we're used to ever, because it's the same knee.
Yeah,
It's the same knee. Then
he can
he's
do it
gonna have to think
twice.
about
Oh,
it's the same knee, and he's gonna think about career or not. Here's the thing about Barkley though. Look at Miles Sanders 2 years ago. Had
yeah,
one of the greatest seasons that year, right? 2 years ago. Gone. Eagles didn't invest in him. They just kind of let him walk. They went and got Swift. Swift did the same thing but better. So out of these three running backs, Saquon is the best one, and they upgraded this line. Can you imagine if Saquon's not top 3 this year? I'll be very shocked.
me too. Yeah,
I will be very shocked. Like this is why I'm thinking, Brian, if you don't make playoffs, I don't know what to tell you
yeah,
because
it is my fault. It's 100% my fault with
if
the
you
team I got now with T Higgins and yeah.
AP got hurt almost every year still. Yeah, but that was
No,
like
but he will get hurt. He will tear his ACL to come back 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, like with duct tape on it. Like
he was Peterson was a different animal, man. That was like old man caveman style. Throw some dirt on the wound, just go back out. That's what Peterson was. That's
So
And
you
the
tore up your
healthcare
knee.
back
I
then.
got 2 of them. What are you talking about, coach? Put me back in the game.
Yeah, dude, and that was the back then it was just crazy. Now the running back situation it's going to get interesting next year. So next year, what's going to happen? They'll see the fall. I've been talking about this fall already for past year because this year's class is so bad. Like, props to Mark getting himself 2 of the top 10 or top 5 running backs, right? Like, props to him. I don't care what you say. Those top running backs are still going to be like a dart throw. I think Benson's
No.
probably the safest, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they go back, those same teams that got running back this year go back to the draft because next year's running backs are like gods compared to these guys. And they're going to be like, I could get a god and this guy. And then now you're in a situation where that guy you just drafted is now a number 2. Trust me, I know all about
And
them
it's
number
funny,
2.
that was the reasoning behind. I think Mark did a great job. When I look at his top 4 picks, he had 2 of the best wide receivers and 2 of the best running backs. Yes.
Yes.
But I would have did it different. I probably would have went after the same type of positions, but I would have probably went Odunze and Neighbors in my first round. I would taken them both off the board. Just give me both of
Mhm.
them. And then I would have went running back in the second round
I don't think
with
Benson would.
whatever.
I don't think Benson would have survived that long. He really wanted Benson.
Yeah, that's what he said. And
That
that's what he
was
said.
that was his,
I texted
and it
about it.
made sense because he also has Connor,
Exactly.
and we've
It's
been preaching if you
exactly
have Connor, go get Benson. So, and I understand what your logic is right now, but I understand what he did for his team's sake. So, again, it's a running back situation next year is going to be a lot better. Save your firsts because it might be a running back, more than likely. Trust me, I will probably need one because I don't think half my running backs are going to be in the league. They'll probably be benched. Oh, I'm so scared for these guys. All right, guys, I guess brought to you by Anthony Price. Had a question on Wednesday, and he said, "What do you guys think about the top 10 NFL or offenses?" I'm like, well, you know what? That's too easy of a question because I could probably name out good 15, 20 of them right now, thinking I'm going to be good. But I also wanted Tank's opinion because he's the stats guy, but then he doesn't even show up. So I don't know what we're going to do. Miles Sanders might get traded. Good. Get him out of there. Let him go somewhere else and might do good. I don't know. Get him out of there. Please. Because Miles Sanders is good. We've seen it. We've seen how good he is. He just I don't think the system there worked for him. I don't know.
I don't think they gave him the opportunity. They understand what type of running back he is. And they treated him like a guy who just give him the ball and move out the way and let him like be like Derrick Henry. I was like, that's not Miles Sanders.
Yeah,
That's not
he
the type
needs
of
a line.
exactly. And he's good at reading blocks. But if you don't block for him, he's just not going to get yards.
You can't
He's
read
not
if you
even
don't
David
have a block.
Montgomery. Like you have to block for this dude.
Yeah, Penn State, amazing line. And then Philadelphia's always been like very good at having a good key offensive line. That's one thing the Eagles have always done. One thing about Eagles, I can say, they've always had really good DBs and a really good offensive line. That's one thing that I've always admired about that team. A good offensive line and good DBs for as long as I can remember. They've always had good DBs. So, but you put Miles Sanders behind a line that doesn't know what the hell they're doing because they're too busy searching for Skittles on the ground. He's
Yeah,
not going to
you get
produce.
what you get.
What's up, Kevin? With the buzz of the 25 rookie draft shifting focus to running back, do you think this maybe be a course of correction for the wide receiver position and dynasty value of the position? It might for this year, if that's what you mean. This year for sure. receivers right now are like sought out. Like even Roman Wilson is going to be one of those guys who are like, I could probably gamble on this guy. And he's
Mhm.
like 12th, 15th in line. So yeah, I think for usually what happens, and it's I don't know why the universe works the way it works, is when one position is more dominant the other ones kind of just deteriorate. And Brian could probably answer this more because he's probably seen it his whole life and he's played it his whole life. So I don't know, but
All right.
obviously the running back sucked this year, but the receivers were good. Next year could be completely opposite.
Well, see, what I think happened for running backs this year is that when your draft incoming draft picks are not as good talented as what we have in NFL, your older people became more valuable. So like if you did a trade and you wanted to grab a David Montgomery, all of a sudden instead of saying he's a fifth round pick, he becomes a third round pick, right? Or a third round draft pick you're looking for. So the value of the ones that are already there are higher. I think that's what's going to happen for wide receivers. So next year, wide receiver draft is not what we have this year. This year, the draft is great. So you're able to draft a lot of guys. I think next year your value, especially for dynasty, I think your value of the ones that we have now are actually going to be higher because we still have most people are in PPR formats, and with not as good wide receivers coming out, the ones that we have now, the trade value goes up, but then your draft value goes down. If that makes any sense.
No, yeah, yeah,
So you're not going to be drafting as many, but you're going to be looking for guys specifically that are already on some teams. So if you want a wide receiver now, you probably should trade for him this year because next year that value of that wide receiver is going to be higher.
yeah.
So
And
like
usually that's how it goes.
Deontay
Like
Johnson
this year,
might be the guy. That's what I'm talking about. Like Deontay Johnson might have an unbelievable year, and now you could have got him for a third round pick this year. You're probably going to pay a low first.
because he's going to be the number one again, like PPR machine over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Funny how you say the Eagles line is great. No, I'm saying in history. That's what I've dealt. Like this year, they lost Kelsey. I get that. That was a big hit. But I'm just saying that they've always been good at it. Like throughout the years, through history that I've remembered, they've always had a pretty good line. Like I don't think McNabb ever had issues. Foles ever had issues really behind Vic. Even had issues. Like Carson really had issues. Like it was always they've always had time. But the
No, I
DBs,
agree.
yeah, it was this year. It's going to be interesting. This
I
might be
mean,
the first year.
they drafted their replacement for center 2 years ago, but we
Yeah,
don't. You're still
sure, right? Yeah,
yeah, but you're trying to replace a legend. So I believe everyone believes left tackle is the most important position on the line. I believe center is the most important position on the line. Why? Because young quarterbacks can't have pressure in their face. They don't know how to handle that pressure in your face, and they call out all the protection. So
I feel like
losing the center will take some time getting used to, and I would not thinking I won't think the line for in Philly is going to be great at the beginning of the season, but towards the middle of the season, with all the people that are around them, they should be solid. Just like Martin saying that they've always had.
yeah, they'll fix it. I mean, that's one thing they've always been pretty good at. For some reason, their scouts always figure out that line. I think that what the Eagles are gonna have, they'll do something because
I think they're going to be
Kelsey
fine.
was a big like. It's funny how you say center. I think it's such a big argument because for me, I feel like the guards are. People say the tackles, you say center, I say guards. I think
Guards
the
are
guards are
important.
the ones that control the movement of the line between going left or right of pulling which guard to
Mhm.
making the act like if you have slow guards, that running back ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, but if you have slow guards, but you have strong, slow, stout guards, and you have an unbelievably athletic center, you can pull
Yeah,
your center. Like he's the
maybe.
one band-aid on an entire offensive line. You get bad guard play, but if your center's calling protection and able to reach
But
block a lot
that's
of
too
people,
easy for the middle linebacker to just read to know that. Middle
that's true.
linebacker would read up on that. They're like, oh, he's the only one that's probably gonna go. I'm gonna rush right up the middle.
You have to if you have a bad guard, you have to almost play fullback. You have to almost play a fullback anytime you have a bad guard because they're not going to be able to pick up the blitz. You're going to have to do an old school offense,
What's
and
up,
it,
Drew?
it messes up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But without
Yeah.
the protection at center, I'm telling you, if your defensive tackle could wreck stuff, they can wreck stuff. At least, and if you have a good center, he can help on the 3 technique, and he can call the protection to help you on your linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you can run the ball, But
At
if you
least
can't, if you can't do that with the other positions, and you
it's a
can run
puzzle
away from
piece,
your left
man.
guard, your left tackle.
You,
You
you
can run away.
all 5 pieces need to be at least above average. As soon as the defense knows the weak point, they're gonna
They're
give
going to
that
attack
man
it.
such a bad day. And I've seen it before. They're like, hey, that's the worst guy on the line. We're gonna rush him all freaking day. And it's not gonna stop. They will dedicate a single linebacker to that spot to rush every single play because that man cannot handle the one he's dealing with, yet alone 2 people. And they might just pinch in the DN to that guy. It's
Yep. We're gonna
it's a
overload
puzzle
you.
piece. It really is. So, but anyways,
I think this is a good talk about because we're going to talk about the top offenses, right? And one thing that's going to be common in all these offenses is the offensive line. A sturdy, helpful, good offensive line.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is gonna be a crazy topic because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're wrong," you're blah blah blah. I do you want to start it off or
what do you want to
because
do?
I
1
have
to 10 or 10 to 1?
I say 10-1, and I think
Okay.
we could get it done within.
I think we get it done quickly, actually.
Yeah. I'll start with my 10.
Okay.
My 10, and it's because I still think they're good enough, but then again, at the same time, we've seen them make playoffs in the last couple of years, and they just fall short, and just because of the weapons that they've lost, and because of the defense, defense. I know we're talking about offenses, right? But if they have no defense, the offense is on the field more, and they're going to end up being tired more and making more mistakes.
Yeah.
I think this team lost too many pieces on defense that I have the Bills at 10 now.
Okay.
Rather than being the top 5 from the last couple of years, I put them down to 10 now because I think they're going to be struggle bus. And Coleman is not.
I have the Bills at 9. So that's it's interesting that you have. I have the Bills at 9.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I have the Bills at 10.
That makes sense.
I don't trust me, for fantasy purposes, I think that they're going to put up numbers. I get it. Josh Allen's probably going to have an amazing year because it's going to be all him, Kincaid, Coleman, and freaking Cook. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know. It's they can't seem to get over that hump, and they can't seem to. They're always going to be little brother, is what it kind of seems to these offenses, and yeah, I'm putting them at 10. Okay. So if that's your 9,
yeah, you're really close. I understand exactly what you're saying, and they're 9 for me. And my only thing is when your quarterback does take a big chunk out of this. The reason why the offense is decent. I don't know where their line's going to be, but I do know that their running back talent is good. Their quarterback talent is good. I like Keon Coleman. I'm still there. I think the Josh Allen show is just still great, and they still got continuity in their scheme. They understand how things are going to work. I think the loss of Stephon Diggs is actually going to help.
Morally, probably.
Yeah. And I think you're going to also look at, Curtis Samuel. is going to
There you go.
probably do a lot
It
more.
wouldn't surprise me if he's the number one receiver there.
Yep.
I think Chris
So
Hammon's going to be the number one. I don't think Keon Coleman's going to be
he's
what
going to have to
everyone
come into
says.
his own. It's going to take like week 6. Keon Coleman might have a flashes of wow, but
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel is going to be your sturdy thing. You have 2 decent. Well, you have 1 great tight end, 1 decent tight end. You're going to be, and you can run the ball. And I think continuity, along with that, with the threat of Josh Allen, is going to still keep them in the top 10 offense.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be enough to get him to the show. I mean, even
No,
when they had like, hey, what's up, Derpy? Even Derpy coming in saying, yeah, we've been like, we said that like they had their chance, they had it. They're like the damn Cowboys now. It's like it was there, they lost it. They're not. This team isn't going to be Super Bowl contending. I don't.
No, I think it'll still be a decent offense.
If they make it, they'll get knocked out first round. I'm sorry.
I don't know if they make it. I think the AFC North is too good.
They might get
I don't know if they're going to make it
first round if they make it. Just Dolphins are getting crazy fast, and the Jets they should. I'm liking what they've done the last 2-3 years. That the Jets should be the number 2.
I think Jets win the division,
or maybe the first one, depending on how the Dolphins play. So yeah.
So, all right. So I have 2 honorable mentions. I will say Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, depending on what their running back and quarterback are right down the outside of being top 10 offense.
Bears up in here. Holy shit.
It depends what Caleb Williams is. I think their talent is higher than a lot of these other teams that we have in the top 10. Their talent is better, but it doesn't matter. You have a rookie quarterback, so I can't put that there. Green Bay Packers, I don't know what you're going to get out of running back. Josh Jacobs sounds great, right? But he gets hurt a lot. I don't know what you're going to get. I don't know which Jordan Love you're going to get, the stiff that you got in the first 8 games or the guy who's amazing the last 9. So depending on what that is, depending on what Josh Jacobs is, if Christian Watson could get on the damn field, I don't know which one. What they're gonna do with Jaden Reed and Dobbs? They have a talent to still be there. I don't think they win the division because I don't think they're that good. But I think both the Bears and the Packers are right there, depending on how key positions do. But they're outside my top 10. My number 10 is the Houston Texans. I think they've made that much of a jump that the Houston Texans need to be in my top 10 now.
Really?
And, yeah.
So your 10 is the Texans?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I have them higher.
I think they have a lot of moving pieces. They also have a lot of people that are hurt. Tank Dell, don't know what's going to happen with him. Nico Collins is great. Stephon Diggs being in there could help or hurt that offense. I don't know. The offensive line is still whatever. If they're healthy. I like Savage. I really do as a play caller. They could be great, but I have to see it again. This is not stability. The reason why I have the Bills over them is because it's been the same thing over and over, and you know exactly what you're going to get. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and Josh Allen we've already seen him carry a whole team. Injuries, no matter what, he still can carry that thing. So I feel like I reward them being there and knowing how to do it.
I think that if you put the Texans and the Bills together on a game, which, by the way, they don't play each other this year, do they?
I don't believe so.
If they played each other, I would put the Texans sneaking away with that win.
I think they have a better team.
They have more depth, and that's what's killing the Bills. They don't have enough depth to get fresh legs. Their depth, their backups, to get reps, because these guys get tired. They got to, switch in and out, right?
Yep.
The Texans have that. The Bills don't. It's going to be a game of stamina, and I think that they're going to end up beating them out.
The Bills have better tight end play. I still take Josh Allen over CJ Stroud.
Well, yeah, 100%. But the running backs, give me Joe Mixon and Pierce all day. I'll take those 2 over the other 2.
I don't know. I think that's closer than you think. I mean, the Bills running backs are decent. So Bills Texans October 6th. So we'll find out. But I believe the Texans defense is the reason that Texans are better than the Bills. I think their offense, Tank Dell's not going to start the year off there. Nico Collins is going to be there. What's going to happen? Dalton Schultz, they're thin at tight end. If Dalton Schultz is not there, they don't have anything else there. You don't know what Stephon Diggs is going to bring, positive or negative, until I see
It'll be
that
positive because it's that first.
What happens when Tank Dell gets back? Does Stephon Diggs get
It's
pushed
still
to the
Stephon.
third?
It's still
And
Stephon. Nah, I don't think so.
I don't know because
still think
once
it's
again,
Stephon.
CJ Stroud loves Tank Dell. They room together. They do all those things together. So I have too many questions for it. But you could say if you get 10-9, switch it up. I'm not going to hate on it. But yeah, I have too many questions going in, and they've only done it for 1 year. It was a surprise team last year, but I don't know that the guys showed me you could do it more than 1 year. Same reason why I didn't pick Green Bay, because I think Green Bay is probably higher than Chicago, but I'm not putting them in the top 10 either because I need to see it for more than 1 year.
Yeah, no, I feel like Diggs he's still good there because it's his first year. And I see what Durfee already put, but I don't think it'll be that year one. Not he's never been like that his first couple years there. It takes time. Once he starts developing the
Chemistry,
the team's identity, then he starts crying. And then he's done that for the past 2 teams. And it'll be that honeymoon sweet spot right now. I don't think that's gonna happen.
he's getting older too. That's the other thing.
This
He
probably
doesn't have the time. But he doesn't have the time to go ahead and wait 2 years. So in 2 years, he's third wide receiver.
He doesn't think that though. You're looking at 30,
winning the
32.
division.
You're like, I could still run these guys. Yeah, nah, bro. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I have them at I'm not even gonna say because that's a big jump for me actually. Because you have them at 10.
Yeah.
My 10 is the Bills, and yours 10 was Green Bay. No, 9 was Green Bay for you.
No, so I have Green Bay and Chicago. Like Green Bay's 11.
Oh, you had your honorable mention. That's funny because I have Green Bay at 9.
Well, I understand that. And my thing is, I don't reward 1 year, but I understand Green Bay being at 9.
I don't think because it's a very young team. A lot of people don't realize who's on that team yet. Like the average people couldn't name most of that roster. But it's a very
really
young team. It's very talented, and they are going to be hot fire. Like they're starting to look that good. I know you hate to hear that, but
I just question Josh Jacobs. Losing Aaron Jones is going to be interesting. Jaden Reed, I have nothing bad to say about. I just can't say anything. The dude is good.
Josh Jacobs was just on a horrible team. Like, and he still made Pro Bowls yet somehow, some way. Like, no, man. Like, no. I don't think it's gonna be.
What do you think about Christian Watson always having hamstring problems?
He's
fast as crap,
but and he's good.
Can't get on them.
I don't know. He needs to figure that out because if they don't, like he's a very good, valuable asset, and they need him bad. But I hope that this year he has a new health regimen or something because they need him on the field.
He had problems in college with hamstrings. He's literally that's half his career. He's been out with hamstring injuries.
But when he's on the field,
NFL,
man,
it's college.
But when he's on the field,
you can barely see him because he runs 4.3 and he's very fast all the time. He stretches the field, the hell out of the field. And then you have both Kraft and Musgrave on the Titans in the middle of the field that are very good too. That really helps Jordan Love have just levels of weaponry. So I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I think I need to see another year. Same thing I said with the Texans, but I could literally understand if they move to the top 7, 8, both of them, without having a problem.
Yeah, but I had them at 9, so I'm surprised you had them like outside the 10. But that's interesting. So let's talk about our 8. Because we talked about we talked about the Texans, right?
Yep.
I have them at 7.
Okay. I have Miami at 7. I have Miami at 8. I have Miami at 8.
You have Miami at 8?
Yeah.
Okay. You have Miami at 8. Go ahead,
I
talk
mean,
about Miami.
all you gotta do is look at that team and what they did last year. And this is not for long term or anything, but Tua showed that he could actually stay healthy and do when he did it, his stats were better than any other quarterback. Tua's stats were better than any other quarterback. Just the stats. Doesn't mean that he's played. You still got Tyreek Hill, who talent wise is the most electric wide receiver there. You know, I didn't say he's the best. I didn't say he's Justin Jefferson. Electric wise, Tyreek Hill is still that guy. Tyreek Hill could have been the MVP.
MVP. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you got Jalen Waddle right behind him. And then they signed ODB, the ghost of ODB, whatever. But still the ghost of ODB. Then you got Mostert, who did not get hurt last year, and Achan is right behind him. That it's not just new weaponry. This is weaponry that you've already played together, and these guys are consistently good. So I can't put them anywhere else. I think as long as their offensive line is decent, they gotta be 8 for me.
I'm surprised you have them at 8, man. I can't put these guys at 8. They're
Lower?
too fast, they're too good. They have too, like you just said it yourself. They have so much weaponry, right? That I can't see them being 8. No.
I think when you looked at my list, I understand what you're saying, but I totally understand why people think it, but I also worry about their offensive. You still have offensive line worries, and you still have quarterback worries. So the reason why I keep the Bills up higher right now because I could trust Josh Allen.
Right.
The reason why I can't put the Dolphins higher because I still have to worry that Tua's going to stay healthy. If he's there, this is a great team.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not like the line they've worked on, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
they have some holes, but they're decent. They're definitely a decent line.
I can't put them at 8. That's too low. I feel like they're in the top 5 or something at some point,
Oh,
especially
okay.
for a team that I might think that they might actually win the division. And if they win the division outdo the Jets, I cannot put them at 8. And
I just don't think they will.
Say what?
I just don't think they will.
Okay. That's kind of interesting you say that because all right, so my number 8. So I got the Bills at 10. I got the Lions at 8.
Whoa.
I got the
At the
Lions at
top
8.
5 offense for me.
Okay. I
And
got
the
the Lions.
best offensive line.
I wanted to put them higher, but then there's other teams that I felt like because I have Bills, Packers, Lions. Amon-Ra, I know Jared Goff isn't like what everybody's thinking, like, but he
No,
still
he's a
makes
perfect point guard for that quarterback.
he
For that
gets
team.
it done. You have 2 really good running backs. The line isn't half bad.
The
And Sam
line is the
Laporta,
best in the NFL. Their line is the best.
like I want to say the Lions here at 8 is a pretty good spot.
Hmm.
I just feel like they can outdo a lot of teams, and this could be the year they step up and outshine a lot. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they go higher than 8.
I have them much higher than 8.
You have them higher than 8.
I have
That
them
doesn't
much,
surprise me, but
and
I
I've
have them
seen
at
them.
8.
I've seen them up close, and that offense is something special. Matter of
It
fact,
is.
all the games they won last year, if they had a better defensive back play, they would have won more.
Oh yeah, but that's always been their freaking like.
They
You
haven't been
feel
good defensive back for since
accepted.
Burton Hanks. So but that offense, I don't see many offenses that are better. Period.
I
Put
need
together
James.
well.
The only thing is, so I see Amon-Ra obviously and Sam Laporta. I
Mhm.
need Jameson Williams to step up and be that guy that they drafted in the first round 2 years ago. That him alone is going to be the main key reason on whether they go above and beyond. Because we know what we got out of the other guys. We know that exactly. Like, it's a very good offense. But you can't be a very good offense if you don't if it's just one good wide receiver and a good tight end.
And
Like, you
and
need 3
they're
pieces.
they have the 2 best running backs. Matter of fact,
I
Jahmyr
know,
Gibbs is almost
but
like a wide receiver.
you could,
He's a running
yes,
back in
true,
that.
but
So
you need to move the ball through the air with the perfect balance of running.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you have Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta is the best tight end you don't know. Like, the people that really question Sam Laporta, then you really don't know. Sam Laporta is perfect for this team. You know, I even like the idea of Donovan Peoples-Jones, honestly. I really do. Even though Caleb Raymond's probably going to be higher. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones there too. So I think Jameson's going to have a jump. I think Amon-Ra is great. Sam Laporta is great. And those running backs are just hard. And they could beat you in the air and on the ground and be elite. And they score so many points. That offense scores so many points.
It's interesting. I'm just reading what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said this.
I feel like we're arguing over semantics. You're still saying they're top 10 offense. So I'm not like, I have them in the top 5.
But I've said this 3-4 years ago that the Lions are finally going to. I remember you even thought I was crazy. Because 3 years ago, I'm like, watch this team finally grow into something special. Let them cook. And you're like, yeah, but the Lions are gonna line. I'm like, no, not this team. This team is not gonna line. They're not gonna be that team. They're finally gonna make something happen. They're finally gonna do it.
I agree.
And sure enough, they 2 years ago they did it, and they beat the Packers, who didn't go to the playoffs because of that. And the following year they made the playoffs. So again,
I think the Lions this year could easily in the NFC Championship game. Easily. They could have done it last year.
Easy.
That team
100%,
is,
yeah.
But the offensive line they have, the quarterback play who's perfect for the indoor stadium with the quick trigger. Sam Laporta getting all that space. Amon-Ra cannot be stopped. And if anything happens, you just hand the ball off to both those running backs. And you could throw it to Jahmyr Gibbs too. Jahmyr Gibbs has one of the best pair of hands I've seen at running back in a long time. And I say Monty is still like a top 15 running back. They have 2 top 15 running backs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that was my number 8.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mentioned my number 7 was the Houston Texans. I have the Texans at 7. So I have Bills, Packers, Lions, Texans. So those are my 9 through 7s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. My 7 would be Baltimore.
No, they won't, Derpy. Not this team. Not this team. This team is
they
not
didn't
the
choke
same.
last year. I mean, they still did it.
They repeated it, and you could see in the final process they were getting better and better and better.
So I have Texans, Dolphins, Bills, and my next team would be Baltimore Ravens. And once again,
Yeah,
based on
QB.
Your 7? 7.
It's your 7? Okay.
Yeah. Based on QB, Lamar Jackson MVP. Okay, whatever, fine. But this is the perfect time to bring Derrick Henry along with Justice Hill. Like, you have your running backs for a team that's based on just running. That those play pieces together fit perfectly. And it's going to really, really work. I think once again, I have to have a quarterback that I believe in, and Lamar I believe in. I've been saying I thought Lamar was going MVP last year, and I was right. He won MVP by default, but I said before the season that I think Lamar's going to have an MVP year. That's what happened. I still believe in him, and now having someone like Derrick Henry that they can rely on, I think that really works. And matter of fact, if they had Derrick Henry last year, they might be Super Bowl champions now. You know, like that offensive line is going to be good. The tight end, they just showed that they have two great tight ends now. Two. Mark Andrews is great. Don't get me wrong. Mark Andrews is unbelievable. He's young. He is reliable. I love it. But Isaiah Likely showed me a lot. So and they are really like just together. I feel like that works out. They have the right wide receivers. This team's going to go really, really good, and we'll see. You know, Anthony says the teams are going to stack. Teams are going to stalk the line against the Ravens now because of Henry. I still don't believe Henry goes off. Lamar can carry the team. He's carried the team every single other year. Every single other year, he's carried the team. Like, this is not like a new thing. He's always done it. And they do have wide receiver help this year. And they have two tight ends. And their line is good. So I just, and Justice Hill is special. I can't hear you, Martin.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Been having mic issues. I think it's the wire. I don't. Oh, 7 here is for you. That's, I don't know. Nah. Yeah, thanks, Braden. Yeah, I've been having mic issues. Okay. I'm gonna let you have it, but I have them higher.
I understand you having them higher. I do. As much as I'm all over this offense. I really am all over this offense. I have Detroit higher. I like Detroit more. I like a team that someone else says more like and we'll get there, but I think that's a really good team. So they're my 7, and you see the ones but are below them. I believe in all of them too. You know, but I think this is not just a good team. It's hard for me. Are they better than Cincinnati? I'm not sure, but this is a good offense, man. This is a good offense, and the defense is nasty.
All right. All right. So moving on with my 6th, I have the Chiefs here at the 6. I think they have, yeah, I have the Chiefs at 6, and I didn't like it. I didn't like putting them there. They've been so good at what they do, but the fact is that they last year really showed their true colors on how bad they needed offensive weapons. And when Mahomes doesn't have what offensive weapons, and when you're just relying on Kelsey, it looks bad. And you can see Patrick Mahomes finally become a human. Finally not have Tyreek Hill, not have Hollywood Brown wasn't catching anything. Like, it was just like,
No, he wasn't there.
or
So
not Hollywood Brown, but freaking
Rasheed Rice did have a good year.
Rasheed Rice, and then Kadarius Toney, like, that's what I meant to say. Was supposed to be the next it factor, like Worthy. All right, and I have so many questions about Worthy. I get it, but I'm so used to seeing these fast receivers come in and do absolutely nothing. I've seen him so many
not with
times.
Andy Reid being their coach.
But and that's my factor. That's the one question I have. Like, can he change it? Can he make the difference? Like, there's only a few coaches, I think. Like, Tomlin and him can probably be the ones that I feel like they can change the rules
Look
of
at
what
Deshaun Jackson.
normality is.
Remember
They
Deshaun
bend
Jackson?
the rules.
A fast wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson. See what he did with Deshaun Jackson. See what he did with Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's done it with these fast guys that weren't highly, saying they're the best. When you're fast, you can catch the ball. Man, Andy Reid knows how to use you.
That's why I have them at the 6. I just like these weapons aren't like Marquise Brown is good. I just feel like it's
unproven.
For some reason I look at him, he's always a number 2 to me. Like a high-end number 2. I've never really seen him as a number 1. I don't think I ever will. I just can't see him be that number one anywhere, really. Like, it don't matter. I can't see him being the number one. The last time I actually looked at him as the number one is when he was with Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
But that was because he was literally the only one there. So again, I don't see anymore. I can't see anymore. But that's why I have them there at the 6th.
Okay. I have the
They're
Rams at
falling
6.
because last year we saw them actually look like real humans and not like aliens from outer space and do some crazy
He'll
madness.
return to be an alien. And they still won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And they still did. I don't know. But you know what it was, though? Because their defense actually did a lot more last year than they have in any other years they've ever
And
had.
then in the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes will kind of just put the team on his back and just carried it.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I got the Rams at 6. That's I have the Rams. LA Rams are definitely 6. Am I undercover Lions fan? Nah.
He just likes the Lions. Like, it's
I respect. I respect good. You can't, as long as it's not that team up north, I can respect every other team in the NFL. I tell you, I don't like green. You won't even see green in my background. I throw it away. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't win with them. Can't do it. But as I said, 6 is for my Rams. Matthew Stafford, when he's well protected, still top quarterback. Who knew? They redid their entire offensive line. Even when they re-signed what's his name, Dotson. They re-signed him. They added Jackson from the Lions, right? So that line is now even better than it was last year. So I love that. McVay is a genius. Puka, is a wide receiver 1. Then you still have what you already had. So like I think you're going to. Kyron Williams is good, and then you have a good backup too for Blake Corum. So once again, you could have 2 good running backs. You could have 2 really good wide receivers and a decent wide receiver with the tight end and a guy, Matt Stafford, that just has arm talent for days. Like Matt Stafford's going to be one of those guys like Brett Favre that you could always. He could be 50 years old and still have all the arm talent in the world. He could still play quarterback. He'd be 100 years old, still be able to throw the ball out there. That's just him. And if he could be in that wheelchair and he could just go ahead and throw the ball because you don't have to worry about him blocking because you can block for him. He's going to continue to do it. So, I have the Rams there at 6.
That's funny because I have them at 5.
And I have the Chiefs at 5.
I have the Rams at 5. Everything you said makes so much sense, and I can't believe I'm saying this too, because I hated the way they developed, and I hate this. I really do. I don't even want them in the top 10. I don't feel like they should be in the top 10. They shouldn't be in the top 10. This is too much rookie reliant, and I don't like it. Like, yeah, they're sophomores now, but Cooper Kupp was gone. Puka Nacua said, all right, I gotta put the receiver room on my shoulders. The running back room was also injured as well. Kyron Williams did the same thing. That line is gone. They drafted in the line. Matthew Stafford is just plays for days, and he could be like that dude who got his arm chopped off and his leg chopped off and still say it's just a flesh wound and still throw like, you know what I mean? Like, I have the Rams this high because of what they did. Yes, over the Lions, Anthony. I know, but they have more key pieces. Like, the Lions have 2 good running backs and 1 solid receiver. The Rams have, and the tight end for the Lions. Where the Rams have all the pieces. They have 2.
Tyler
They have
Higbee is
2
not on the
running
same
backs,
level as Sam
because I think
Laporta.
Corum can be something special.
I agree.
Okay, Higbee is good, but the problem is they don't need him. When you don't need one of your best players is saying something. Like, I don't know what McVay does, but he just doesn't use him. But he's so good. And then you have Puka and Cooper Kupp. Like, they have more pieces than they do the Lions.
They got DeMarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell, who did well last year too.
I want like the Lions is a hard one because of Jamison Williams.
Yep,
That
and
was the whole.
okay, so but you have I have LA 6. I have Chiefs at 5, right? So we have the Rams and Chiefs right there. I have Detroit at 4. You know, so and I think Detroit's offensive line. I'm huge with offensive line, and when you are an offensive line that doesn't give up sacks, they just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one gets past them. They don't give up sacks. Right. That means a lot. And then you can run the ball. When David Montgomery, I've seen him for almost his entire career. If he doesn't get hit in the backfield, he's getting 5 yards. You have and that's your second running back. You have a guy who's back there that's even more explosive.
Right.
You know, and he's talented out of the backfield, and you only have so many balls to go around. So I feel like they're balanced in a way that teams just don't even know what to do. And Sam Laporta really is a wide receiver. That's how they use him. So with him, Amon-Ra, and then Jameson just be the deep threat, but it just could be a threat. And they have one of the best offensive minds there. So like when and he should have been a head coach, and he decided not to. I'm gonna come back one more year. So that's why I have Detroit 4. So like it's literally for me, it's Rams, Chiefs, Detroit. I understand where you have your people, but I think I would rather have it that way.
Okay. All right, so that was my 5. Moving on to 4, which was your what, number 7 or 8? The Dolphins.
Dolphins, yeah.
That's my number 4. That's my number 4.
Okay.
The amount of speed that they have back there, even with old man Mostert and Achan, it's just bullets. They're just bullets, man. They really are. And then that's not even including the fastest man on earth. Well, probably not anymore, but you know, we've known him as being the fastest receiver in the game, Tyreek Hill, and he's still putting them numbers like that. He's there at 4.
He still might be.
He's still at 4, and he's still a monster. I don't care about the whole Tua situation. If he's hurt, he's hurt. But right now, when I see him play, he just reminds me what he did in Alabama. He puts it in the right place, and you can see it. And this is why I have the Dolphins at number 4, and this is why I have the Dolphins so high in the division that they might. The other struggle is just going to be the Jets. If they can beat the Jets, then I think they'll be just fine. Because I don't think the Bills are a threat as much anymore, and just because they lost too many pieces. The Dolphins, for me, are at number 4. They're your what, 8 or 9?
8
or 8 or 7? 7, right? You had 7.
The 7. They're my 7. They're my 7. You're right. Sorry. Yeah.
So I have them at 4.
And say you're my higher Lions are higher than you have them at 4. I mean at 7. I have them at 4.
So you had the Dolphins down where my Lions are up.
Yeah, so we just basically took our 4 and 7s and switched them.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All right, so tell me your 3 then.
My 3 shit. So okay. So I have the Dolphins there. I have the Ravens here at 3. And I know you had them way lower, right? Where was your Ravens at?
I think so. In the Ravens, I actually had a 7. So I had Miami at 8. I had Ravens at 7. Yeah.
Okay, I have the Ravens here at 3. And it's basically everything we were just saying from what they have. Like they've Isaiah Likely is not really a tight end. They don't use him as a tight end. He is that slot receiver that's labeled a tight end. Zay Flowers was an amazing pick for them. Rashad Bateman, if he's healthy and can do anything, is a very good asset.
Yeah.
Then they got old man Aguilar there who sometimes makes things. But it all comes down to freaking Lamar. And they got Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. And Keaton Mitchell, who I think Keaton Mitchell is probably end up being the number 2 anyways. That offsets the balance. You got strength and speed right there in the backfield behind Lamar. And then Lamar just does whatever the hell he wants because he's Lamar. And he just get things done. This is why I have them at number 3. This is
I'm
why
not
that
hating
no
on
matter
anyone. My 3
whatever
is
defense you put up against them, you put him against the Browns, he's productive. You put him against the Steelers, you're productive. And yes, they're in the same division, but they're usually the teams that know how to stop him. But he still puts up numbers, and I think this is why it just runs. The team just runs through it, whether the air or the ground. Lamar controls it all. This is why I don't understand how no other team bought him a few years ago, and he's still there. It still baffles me how nobody sought him out, and that's why he's my number 3. Or yeah, that's why they are my number 3.
So I've been arguing, kind of dealing with this for a while because I felt like I had everyone up one other slot. I had everyone up one slot, and talking to somebody made me make this move, the top 3, because I'm throwing for 2026 potential, what I think could end up being on their offense. And even right now, it's hard for me to even say because I'm not sure I really believe this because I had them jump from number 9 or number 8 all the way to 3, and I kind of was talked into it, but I got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Really?
I have the Cincinnati Bengals that I had them at 9 because I've always been a Bengals hater. Like, I don't know if you listen to anything. I've been a Bengals hater for a long time. I just don't believe in them. Don't believe in them. Joe Burrow gets hurt too much. I can say whatever, but seeing what Jake Browning did with that offense, because at the end of the year, that offense was unbelievable, right? And that's without using T. Higgins. That's without using Jamar Chase all the time. Signing Trent Brown, Amarius Mims, I think that keeps Joe Burrow upright. If Joe Burrow can sit back there and just throw the damn ball, that's a monster. That's a monster. Chase Brown played for Illinois for a long time. I love Chase Brown. He is one of the all-time leading rushers in NCAA history. I love having a running back that's just going to run. I think they have good tight ends. I think they have the best 2 wide receivers. The best 2.
Well, yeah, arguably, yeah. There you go, yeah.
And I love the Cincinnati Bengals, and I will admit I was talked into it. Yes, I was. I love them. I really do.
I can't with Zach Moss. I can't. I like him. I just don't think he's the guy to carry.
But that's why I
17 games and Chase Brown.
Chase Brown is the dude. That's why, because I don't need Moss to be the guy who carries it. Chase Brown is the guy who's going to carry it.
I can't get behind that backfield, man. I can't get behind that backfield. Zach Moss can he's done some crazy stuff. I just can't. It's not, for me, it's not reliable enough.
I can understand that.
And you're not wrong.
That was the reason why I had them at 9. But it's just when they kept on saying to me, look, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins has to have an unbelievable year. He has to. They have to throw him the damn ball. And if Joe Burrow can stand upright, he's going to throw him the damn ball. And Jamar Chase won't be denied. And I mean, just they made the right moves at line, and they have guys that can actually run the ball.
I can't get behind these running backs for too long consecutively. I know they like to run, but I don't think they have the stamina to outdo it every week after week after week after week.
Chase Brown,
this line is going to be good for them. Don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be an air game for them. They just got Gesicki, good.
Yep,
that's a good asset, but then you got
he can't block. He can't block, but he can definitely catch the damn ball.
It's like I said, it's gonna be ran through the air. I don't think that this team's gonna be like leaning on the run as much. Like Joe Mixon is a big. Those are big shoes to fill. I hate the guy, but he's those are big shoes to fill. Zach Moss has a big. Oh man, I don't know.
If
I
it
don't
was
know.
Zach Moss by himself, I will agree. But Chase Brown, I really believe by the end of the year is going to be their starting running back. I 100% agree. I think that. And I just Joe Burrow has shown before Joe Burrow got hurt, we had him as a second ranked quarterback in all the league.
Right.
You know, so
We'll
once
see,
again, if you
man.
look,
But I
my
that's too
team is
high for
very
me, man.
quarterback dependent. So it is.
If anything, for me, they're like honorable mentions because I feel like Gesicki, like he's good, but he
He
just
catches
got
the
there,
ball.
man.
He gets a lot of yards. That's what he does.
He just got there though.
But it doesn't matter because Jamar Chase and T Higgins are. I mean, they didn't use T Higgins when Joe Burrow was out. T Higgins, you just throw the ball here, anywhere, and he catches. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I respect you, but I can't with the number 3. That's too high for me.
But once again, I've talked into it and I agreed. So I agreed, but I had everyone else one step higher. I ended up putting them out there, but yeah, okay.
All right.
Where's your 2? I want to know that.
My 2 is the Eagles.
My 2's the Eagles.
My 2 is the Eagles. I don't know what happened towards the end of the season last year, but we saw what they could do.
Yeah.
They had everything set up for them, and they just fell on their faces. But I can't deny what they did, right? Like I can't deny the talent. And honestly, I think it was just in their heads, really, because AJ Brown started becoming this diva. And if he's the problem, we don't know. Like, he might be the problem. As bad as that might sound, he might be the problem.
They already paid him.
We started hearing him cry towards the end of the season, and then you could see the change, how crap they did. So I'm saying with the addition of Barkley, you know, and Will Shipley with Kenneth Gainwell, right? Because that's 3 running backs that can run. I hope, like I've seen Shipley. I like Shipley.
Shipley's going to be the third running
run.
back. I think he will get some run. They like Gainwell for some damn reason, and Saquon.
Gainwell's not bad, man. He's not bad. Like
he was on my team for a long time, and
yeah. Goddard, obviously, we've seen him do good, and then you can't forget about CJ Uzomah.
Yep.
And he's done really good throughout his career. They have 2 good tight ends. They can go double tight if they need to. It wouldn't surprise me Uzomah outdoes Goddard some of these weeks, fantasy wise, or even points.
Goddard's the tight end in the red zone. That's what he does. He catches touchdowns in the red zone. The problem is you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith also there, and you got Saquon Barkley. Like when that's the problem, when you have too much talent and too much depth. That's why you put them where they are. You know.
Yeah, I'm still gonna put them at 2 because they have talent everywhere. Like there's no flaw. Like even Paris Campbell's did pretty well. So I think this is gonna be a very good team offensively. So we'll see what happens. I am interested in seeing Eagles versus the Giants. Like that I really want to see is because why Barkley, I hope he runs all over the Giants. I really do. I want them to
leave out with a big footprint in someone's chest. Like
100%. Like I hope so. We'll see what happens, but I have them at 2.
Yeah.
And if you have them at 2.
I have them at 2 too. Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if our ones
are probably the same. Yeah.
Because we didn't mention them, and it's kind of hard not to mention them. But are they the Bay Area?
Yep.
Okay.
I was gonna say 1, 2, 3, 49ers.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. I figured it was gonna be them. They're also my number 1. Despite of everything, all the rumors of everything, Ayuk, even if they send Ayuk on, right? That team is still good.
Yeah.
Like the addition of Ricky Pearsall is probably just going to replace Ayuk anyways.
Eventually, they're going to do it. I think Ayuk stays one more this year, but even when he leaves, they're going to be good. Like, and they have the offensive mind. The thing I kept on going with these offensive minds. When you have great offensive minds, then You don't
killing more believers here. I see. But look, man, like it's the truth. It's like I feel like they have everything they I don't know, like
I mean,
the
Hurts
talent,
is
like
good. And then Saquon, even if they I don't care if they didn't have coaches, right? And they were just drawing up plays in the dirt.
they could get it
That
done.
they'll get it done.
Exactly.
Because the
Exactly.
line's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
block for them. You know, they have a quarterback to get the ball to him when they have two receivers that are number one receivers. And you know, you can hand the ball to Saquon or throw it from the backfield. And you know, it's almost a very similar team to San Francisco. They literally built a team very similar to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why I have them 2-1. Like, you know, the tight end. You got a tight end that can catch touchdowns and can catch right in the middle of the field. You have a running back that can run it and catch. You have two number one receivers. You know, you have two offensive minds that kind of work. You have two quarterbacks that can get them the ball. And honestly, Jalen Hurts is a run threat too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
Even
Pearsall was the tipping scale for me. Pearsall, I think, is a much better wide receiver group now because of him.
right. If the whatever trade they get off, if they trade him, right, they're only going to improve because of what draft picks they may or may not get, which probably just be an addition to the following year. But for this year specifically, Ayuk's still there, and until that further happens, I'm not going to say anything otherwise. But this offense is one of the most successful moving. They're not the fastest. They're not like the most powerfulest ones, but they move it consecutively to where I know no matter what, any defense you put up against them, it is not easy. Yeah. It's not easy.
Trent Williams is still, until I see it, Trent Williams is the best left tackle in the game. And then you got we got Juice, right? And you're gonna run behind Kittle, Williams, and Juice, and you're gonna hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Like, yeah. I mean, that's literally a play. Power to the left side is going to, you can't stop it. It's unstoppable. Stretch plays to the left side, it's unstoppable.
Right.
And then they have the receivers.
Yeah, I expect these guys to make Super Bowl appearance again.
Too?
I think so. It wouldn't surprise me. And as a matter of fact, I'll even put a bet on it that they probably make Super Bowl again. Do they win it? That's the grand question, because clearly we
don't go against Kansas City Chiefs.
That would be
the Chiefs come back again.
I would hate that so much, man. I would hate that so much. But yeah. But yeah, that was our top 10 offenses. Again, it's Anthony, funny for bringing that question on Wednesday. We said, you know what, figure we'll just make a whole show out of it, because that's probably going to talk. It's going to be
we have different rankings of it, but the same teams, teams. All of our rankings, it might be ranked differently. I think it's better, you know, but it's all the same teams. Everywhere you look, it was the same exact team that I had on my list.
Yeah, I just think that we'll see what happens. I mean, there could be minor changes here and there. Like, what if one team actually surprises us and does a lot better than what expected, which happens. But honestly, I think that football is just basically right around the corner. Obviously, right now we're doing our dynasty draft, and we're doing a slow draft right now, so we're taking care of that. By next 2 weeks or some, training camps open, and then it's full send. It's full send after that. So
our rookies report the 14th for the Bears, because we had the Hall of Fame game.
Right. That's in 1 week from now.
1 week. Yep.
So it'll be full send from there, and then we'll see. It'll be chaotic, and then rivalries will happen again. Right now, it's just a chill time. Nothing's really happening right now. So yeah. But guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks for giving us your guys' opinions on who you guys think are the top 10s, and yeah. Brian, you got anything else?
I hope both the Lions and Packers are awful offenses. I just don't believe in it.
That's not gonna happen. You know that's not gonna happen. You know.
I mean, obviously they're on my list, so I don't believe it, but I hope so.
Just saying, what if Rodgers gets injured again? Will they blame it on his ship?
Honestly, I think they did a better job of covering for themselves this year. When you look at the Jets, even if Rodgers gets hurt and he's out a couple of games, they have now a true backup. Someone who actually can take that team. And Tyrod Taylor is starting level talent, and he could step in any place, and he can throw the ball, he can pass the ball, he can run the ball. He'll actually give a different level to that offense. So they did a much better job. With Aaron Rodgers, they can make it to the AFC Championship game. With Tyrod Taylor, they make the playoffs still.
Yeah, but then they'll be in like the middle of the pack, though. They'll probably get knocked out first round, though.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor that's what he is. He gets there and he gets knocked out first round. That's just who he is.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's his career. And then the rookie behind him has a great year. That's he creates rookies, man. He creates them. It's so crazy. But guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. This is Dynasty Pylon. I'm talking about the top 10 teams. I will get back to these team reports. I just had to take some time off, and we're doing our Dynasty draft right now, which is right now like the most important week for us. And then after that, after this is done, which I assume would probably be getting done by Tuesday, the way it's going because of the trades, it might speed up here after the third or fourth round. So we don't know. But yeah, we'll see. Tuesday, we got Brian showing the Pen and Grizzly. Yep. Are you going to be there this week?
Yep. I think I have a good topic. Last week we had about 450 views. That was cool.
Were you there? Was that Tank? No, that was the week before. It was just Tank.
That was all me. The one with it was just Tank. I was like, there's like 5 people looking at it. But this week I have another good topic that I want to talk about before the season. Things that we need to talk about before the season. So you guys will see it on Tuesday. Just drop on by. If you like it, stay.
Yeah, Wednesday we'll come back to our Wednesday shenanigans and see how far we are into this draft. If we're still drafting, holy crap, we're just gonna show this. We're just gonna do it there. If we're still drafting by Wednesday, I'm just gonna show it there and leave it in the background and just kind of like just let it play. Because I don't think it should be back by then. Like we should be done by like no later than Monday, Tuesday.
Depends if someone takes a full 8 hours or something, then you never know.
Somebody will. It happens. We'll see. Anyways, guys, this is not the Dynasty Pylon. Holy crap. This is the Morning Spike where we do all your fantasy football advice in the mornings, Dynasty picks, IDP, all that good stuff. For Dynasty Pylon, yes, we are 5 subscriptions away from the number 7.
7, yeah.
7th jersey giveaway. We'll be making a video for that, and then we'll be posting it, and then stay tuned for that one. Again, you know the rule. If you're an OG, every 100 we give out another jersey. By me. So yeah.
I'll go half on it this time.
You don't have to. It's fine.
I don't.
We'll discuss that later. But yeah. 5 away. It might be delayed a little bit just because we climbed up in the last week or so by 10 or 15. I was like, holy crap, we're already at 95.
Yeah.
And just it felt like yesterday we were at 75. Man, we got time.
It was like we got 14 in a week.
Yeah, we got time. It's these damn videos I've been doing. Then I took a break, so I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, that's all I got, man.
Sounds good, guys. We will see you later this week. We are on 3 to 4 times every week. So if you want to see our ugly mugs, check us out. See you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sundays. All right, guys.
All right, later, guys.